Welcome to WTFFF, your mindset and nutrition. Welcome to WTFFF, your dose of no bullshit training and nutrition advice. Your host, Brendan Andrews from Forever Forward Fitness, with over 8 years experience and over 12,000 sessions in camp.
And Michael Shanos, elite level powerlifter with over 5 years experience in the disability fitness space with his business strength community. Alright guys, welcome to WTFFF. We are on to episode 7. I've got the Moose here with me.
Hello.
Hello and welcome. Alright, what have we got today?
What have we got? Who should we listen to for advice around training and self-development? And I think a lot of people have combined them into one, which is fair.
Yep.
A little bit of a rant, I think, for me today.
Yep. Far away.
Without naming names, there's a lot of, especially like really strong athletes that clearly their mental health doesn't appear very, very good. And now they're delving into the self-development, into their things, which in a way is okay, but they're using their own personal experiences battling mental health to try and make money. Now, your experience, and I think the easiest way for the explanation for this is, that I can use it as an example, is I've lost a shitload of weight. I'm not a nutritionist.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me a professional. Just because I've achieved it doesn't mean that I have a particular knowledge to go on then sell it to people.
Yeah.
And that's what I find annoying in this space, is that there's these people that are using their own personal experience that have no particular qualifications other than that maybe they've seen a psychologist or stuff like that, and they've got things that have been put in place specifically for them.
Yeah.
But then they're trying to on-sell that as a professional, which to me, that's dangerous.
Yeah, okay. It's almost like it's like the information age. It's like everyone's selling courses, everyone's like sharing their own experience, everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah.
And now when people realise that you can monetize what's essentially an opinion, everyone's cashing in.
Yeah. And in that particular, and this particular example is very specific. I'll get there in a minute. God.
Same with Buffalo.
When you're dealing with people who've got chronic depression and diagnosed mental illness like borderline personality disorder and all these other, bipolar and stuff like that, to say that your experience, it's not to take away from your experience and that you don't have information to share.
Yep.
But you don't have information to sell as a professional.
No. Yeah, and especially if you're out of your lane.
Yeah.
Like if you're just suffering from a couple of bad mental health days, like we've done an episode prior to this on, and we've given an evaluation-based system on how to improve that. And maybe, okay, you're suffering depression in the moment versus someone with clinical depression.
Yeah.
That's been diagnosed, different medications, and is still struggling. Versus just you're in a bit of a down.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, isn't it?
Massive
Like
difference.
Someone that's just,
there's, a depressed state is not unhealthy.
yeah.
I can use an example for a client, not in this job that I've had. This is in a previous role. And she said to me one day, she's like, I'm fucking depressed. I'm like, look at the situation you're in. You've just moved into a house with 24-hour workers. Everything's new. You're seeing doctors left, right and centre. You've got, this lady had restrictive practices put on her. Like, she was restricted in what she could do. Of course you're fucking depressed.
Yeah.
I don't think you're unhealthy in that situation for that matter. Like, there is part of, like, we get sad.
Yeah.
It's a natural emotion.
Yeah. But I guess it's justified in some cases, isn't it?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You look at your environment. If your environment's shit and then you wonder why you're upset, sometimes we've got to look at changing the environment. Like, obviously, for this lady, that wasn't something that she could do. Like, there was an adjustment to change that needed to be made. But for the best part, if everything's shit and the environment's shit, you're probably crazy if you're happy.
Yeah. So would you say, so when you were 200 plus kilos, were you depressed?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And so for me, like actually the past few months, been doing 60 to 80 hour weeks, like well and truly overworked. Doesn't mean things have been bad. It's just been a lot going. It's been very stressful. My partner salon is just launched. I'm feeling much freer. Bloody hell. Have I been depressed? Yes. Have I been anxious? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and that's environmental.
But yeah, and that's a byproduct of what's going on. It's not necessarily the emotion itself.
Yeah.
Is it that there's something bad?
Yeah.
I'm just fucking busy.
Yeah. And it's almost like I think they're such buzzwords at the moment. Depression, anxiety, and all these things. But at the end of the day, like, they're warning signals for things.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they're telling you something's wrong. Like, there's something that's...
But what's anxiety? Anxiety is a fear of something that hasn't happened because it's a coping mechanism for us to, safeguard ourselves from future incidences.
Yeah.
Where we can lose that.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate when people say, "Oh, I'm anxious," and I say it too, because we all get anxious.
Yeah.
But why are we scared of something that hasn't happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's a natural thing. Like, you know, you go on a date or first date or whatever, like whatever it is, that's a natural thing.
Yeah.
To be anxious of what's about to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we look at it the wrong way sometimes. Like, we should look at all the bad things that happen. It's like, oh, what happens if for instance, you meet your wife?
Yeah.
It's the fucking best thing that's ever happened to you.
Yeah, for sure. And then if we go on the primal side of things, you're going to be walking into a lion's den, you're going to be fucking anxious.
You're ready to fight.
Or just try and run faster than you mate.
Yeah, don't freeze. That's the worst one.
No, yeah, don't freeze. That's just that's just lunch meat. Yeah. And so there's that, and now so pretty much what we're saying is like there's people leveraging that as like with their own experiences.
Yeah. I think and that was sort of the point, is that they're trying to use their own experience to profit, regardless of whether they think they're doing it for the right reasons. If you're not qualified, especially in that line of mental health, and particularly people that have like acute mental health disorders, it's just out of your scope.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's like if they're given diagnosis, obviously that's illegal because they're not that big and they're not giving diagnosis. But I feel like they're trying to sell treatment.
Yeah.
And selling treatment means that you have an understanding of what you're doing.
Yeah.
To then treat that diagnosis.
Yes.
I don't know, I might have lost my words. I've had too many coffees, but I think it's hit my drift.
Are you anxious? Are you anxious? So, would you almost say that, like, what do you mean exactly? Like, are these people saying, like, is this just a course with an ebook?
It's life coaching. Yeah, it's life coaching.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's life coaching to the degree of where they're saying it's like, if you have mental health disorders, we can help you.
Yeah.
You know, you're not a doctor.
No.
You can provide a service in the gym to help and, to a degree, mentor along. But you can't say that you have the cure.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Reminds me of that, the guy that reckons he could, remember the fix the degenerative hearing thing with just the power of thoughts?
The power of positivity.
The power of positivity.
I was like, that's illegal. Like,
you don't give people that false hope. But what if we played devil's advocate on the other side of things? Like, and we use us as an example. If someone's got something going on with their mental health, say that they're training with us, they've got a relationship with us, would you say that we're more well equipped than, I'll use a really polar opposite example, like a really socially awkward, unsocialized like accountant that may not have good social skills? Do you think that the person that's suffering with mental health has a relationship, training with us, that if they come to us for a conversation, do you think it would be a benefit?
Yeah, of course, and it's not discouraging people to talk to anybody at all.
Yeah.
But it's seeking, if they're trying to seek like something medical,
Yeah.
you're in the wrong spot. Like we're here to train you, we're here to be positive.
Yeah.
Guide along the way, point in the right directions of things. But when we're talking about, and I really mean these acute mental health sort of disorders, where people have got bipolar, borderline personality disorder, these particular ones that need to be diagnosed by, I believe BDP needs to be diagnosed by 2 psychiatrists. You know what I mean?
Like bipolar.
Borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, right.
And I think it's very similar for bipolar. I believe it's got to be 2 different physicians that have to agree on.
Yeah.
So it's not something that me or you should be even poking our nose in. You know what I mean?
No, that's
well out of our. That's well out of our scope. Like, can we give some advice about things that have been beneficial? Yeah,
for sure.
if they're not medical related.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, that makes a lot more sense now. Like, it's really just like the people that are clearly overstepping, because we shouldn't discourage people from reaching out, talking,
No way,
venting, all these sort of things.
Look, we are basically psychologists, by the way. The stuff that we get told by people, but that's venting. Yeah, or it's just that they need to get it out, whatnot. Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sometimes people say the PT is overpriced. It's underpriced. You get training and psychology for less.
It's $250 to go see a psychologist for an hour.
Yeah.
We're only about the 80-90 mark.
Yeah, and like multiple months waiting if it's a good psychologist as well.
Oh, there's a huge lineup for it.
It's a huge demand at the moment.
And it's all fucking... let's do a telehealth one. Like, that's not good for your mental health. No. Let's do a Zoom call. Fuck off.
Nah, not for that. Not for that. Yeah, I think
it's such a personal thing that they've tried to make. It's like, for me, online coaching, like the programming, I get.
Yeah.
I don't like the Zooms. Yeah. And the stuff like that. Like, that's, for me, defeats the purpose. That's just my opinion.
No, I 100% agree with that. Like, just programming, especially for trained individuals. Good, great. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Like, you're getting what you need out of that. But I think when we start webbing, digitizing a relationship with somebody, like,
well, it's not personal training anymore. It's fucking something different.
Yeah, obviously we're biased on that. Like, it is the relationship with people that we build that is the core of what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything else is just extra perk and benefit that comes with it. And to think about doing that with a psychologist, like you gotta open up.
I think someone's a little paranoid there. Yeah. Like, they're not going to jump on the webcam.
No,
they're already worried about the government watching them.
I had a government reference in the other podcast as well. That's great. We're gonna get shut down. Yeah, we'll be demonetized with all 50 downloads. Nice, very cool. Did you have any other topics, mate?
I do.
You did.
It's a little bit of a rant topic today, really.
Yeah, fire away.
All right, I guess we can combine these two together because we're both a little short on time today. Overcomplicated training programs. And that's...
Yay or nay?
Nay.
Nay.
Nay, absolutely not.
What have you said?
Oh, just fucking ridiculous. Like, you need to be a mathematician to work out the fucking this and that, and there's numbers going left, right, and centre. Like, just make it simple. Give me some numbers. Yeah. I don't even like RPE.
You are against that, though. I'm not against that. I wouldn't prescribe it.
I'm not against it, but if I'm paying for a service, I don't want to have to think about what number it is, and I don't like the idea of, because I can walk away from training with an RPE either thinking I've gone over, or I've gone under.
Yeah,
I find it very hard to find, like, give me a number. I'll do it. I rarely miss numbers in training.
Yeah.
But if I've got to think about it, I'm probably going to go over, or when I'm done, I'm probably like, should have gone 5 kilos, have you?
Yeah. And then you're anxious about that choice.
And then it haunts me until the next session, and then I fuck it up the next week and go too heavy.
Overcompensate. The old slingshot.
Not for me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Training doesn't need to be complicated. Like the training program I'm running at the moment, they're about 45-minute programs. It's great. I do what I do when I press the weight and reps I did. A timer starts. When the timer ends, I do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm quite enjoying how simplistic that is, and it's going well. It's not really complicated. So yeah, I agree. And simple is best. Like you think about the exercise selection, it's very similar to your program selection.
Yeah.
Like the core fundamentals work best.
Yeah.
Science
Get
backed.
used to doing the same 5 exercises and rotate 10 accessories.
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to get strong. You just got to do it for 10 years.
Yeah, 100%. But like best way to sort of ingrain, like I was talking to one of the young gentlemen that trained with us, and to really like fundamentally make him understand why it's so important to get really good at the core fundamental movements, being your squat, bench, dead, shoulder press, pull up, pull down, any of that sort of stuff. Do you ever look at someone that can squat 200 kilos and they just look scrawny?
Yeah.
Very, very rarely.
No.
Unless they're an elite powerlifter. They're probably not going to look scrawny, they're just going to look small.
Yeah, they're just little jack dudes.
Yeah, 100%. And so it's like, well, why would you not get just really bloody good at those fundamentals?
Yeah.
Because if you get really bloody good at them, you're going to be pretty close to your goal and your result of
Yeah.
how you want to look, how you want to move, and all these sort of things.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way of looking at it.
That's right. What have we got? What's the next one? Oh, yes. It's an absolute rant session today.
Just bones to pick.
People selling programs for sports that they do not compete in.
Yeah.
It pisses me off because you're a lunatic, and then it pisses me off for the consumer as well, because if you're dumb enough to buy a program from someone that doesn't have any experience in the sport, they deserve your money. They fucking do. Like I've done two things in strongman. I've picked up stones and the log.
Yeah.
Why would you come to me for a strongman program?
True.
You know what I mean?
Too. So
You know what I mean? Like,
link in bio.
same. But I just don't understand. Like, and it's one thing to go to a PT and learn how to do a squat, a bench, and a deadlift. That's fine. I think a lot of PTs would be able to program you correctly and safely. But when you want to compete,
Yeah.
they have no experience in the competition side.
Definitely.
They don't, they just don't have the experience. They can't let you know what you potentially might come across on the day.
Yep.
It just doesn't make any sense. If you're going to compete in a sport, you go to the specific sport coach.
100%.
That's it.
I definitely think that's 100% relevant in like strength sports. What about in things like your football codes? And I would be on your side to say most people have played sport.
This might be in that team sport section where there's that lot of, I don't know, like plays and different things. There's been some excellent rugby league coaches that have never played rugby league.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is in soccer too, because for whatever reason, most of the time they're shit players.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were just shit players and they just moved on into coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And passion about sport.
There's plenty of average powerlifters that are excellent powerlifting coaches, and same for boxers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that weren't that great of boxers that have been some of the best boxing coaches in the world. They've just got an eye for that. It's not 100% all the time.
Yeah. I think.
But how many weightlifting coaches would there be that have never been a weightlifter? Surely.
I don't know. Surely there's not that many.
I wouldn't have thought.
That's a hard one to think.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's a hard one to think. Like, oh, do you mean as like professional coaches, like Olympic coaches? Well, I don't know.
You reckon that there was someone that's just out there one day and he's like, fuck if I can do it, but I'm going to learn how to teach people?
Well, yeah, I don't know actually, because it's fundamentally like you have to understand it so much yourself to be able to coach it.
At a lower level, and there's old guys that obviously now that would not be able to have the mobility to do the moves, but they could probably teach you. But there would people that be coming to them would already have the basic fundamentals down packed, and then they're like, right, well, I'm being experienced enough that we can make verbal adjustments and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But that's high-end athletes. But
Yeah.
for the bottom end,
Yeah. Nah.
I wouldn't imagine.
Nah, I don't think so. Well, you wouldn't be getting visual demos, put it that way.
That's what I mean. Like, and that was one of my other points. Like, I've seen some of these S&Cs that have fucking had a whiteboard of a program for an individual, and then he couldn't demonstrate a squat properly.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. But do you think, like, when you look at the high level of any of those coaches or sports, whether they were good at the sport or not, they were probably passionate and obsessed about the sport.
Very, yeah.
They would have been obsessed with the strategy and the plays that they would in basketball or football that they would have to do. And
Yeah, and I think that team sport that can be different for sure, because I know of some excellent rugby league coaches that have never played the game professionally.
Yeah.
That have been excellent coaches.
Yeah, and I think especially at the high level, like realistically, like yes, there's a coach for everything.
Yeah,
So that's another thing. Like you've got the overhead coach, then there's like a fitness coach, strength coach, like there's everything, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a good the Dolphins documentary on Stan with Wayne Bennett. That's actually fucking really good.
Is it good?
Yeah. Because you get to see the inner workings of how the club operates, and then you get to see what Wayne Bennett being the head coach of how he operates and gets all these people. He just picks the team that he wants, but not just the players, but he's strength and conditioning coach. He's this and that, and he's like, nah, I want this guy, get him in here, like,
yeah.
And then you're like, oh, it's just not him just sitting there, just like playbook.
Yeah. A lot of people have referenced like high-level sports teams as businesses. Like they're literally just like a business, like a structure of a company. You got people in the works down through, and that's how they run them.
Oh, yeah, they have to run like a business. Like,
Yeah, well, there's a profitable element to it, but
Yeah.
like even from the structure of like the sports side of it,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
run it like a business,
Yeah.
which I find really interesting.
Yeah.
I find it funny that the entrepreneurs that call business the hardest sport of all.
Yeah.
Which it's hard, but
Yeah.
it's not a sport.
Yeah.
You're sitting on your laptop most of the time.
Yeah.
But I understand the mindset and different things like that. But, yeah. So you've come up with a pretty strong theme of ranting today.
Good rant. I was due.
You were due. We're yet to actually sit down on the couch with a beer and do one of these. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
That'd be a little bit wild.
We should do an FFF podcast games after. After the Beer Olympics, we'll do a podcast.
After the podcast, that would be quite funny. That would be quite merry. But yeah, you really had your tail up about people getting taken advantage of today, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what
that was the thing.
Either, but
between all three categories, it was mental health, training, and then like sport coaches.
Yeah.
And it was literally just like people just cashing in on people that they shouldn't be.
yeah, stitch it up.
Yeah. It's a fair point though. It's a fair point. Excellent. Shall we wrap up there?
That'll do us.
That'll do us. Excellent. Well, what is it? Episode 7?
Episode 7.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe if you're on the YouTubes. Give us a review.
YouTubes.
On the YouTubes, yes. Or if you're on Spotify or any of the other platforms. Yeah. We've got all the sponsors going. We're in Jocko. We're going to be selling Joccos soon. How good is that?
$10.
Got a little flyer behind us from a new NDIS Day program we're collaborating on. Bloody hell. We told you that the pictures and the sellout was coming. All right, we'll leave it there. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.